My hair, I haven't washed it or conditioned it yet this week. It's just very strawy. I've been under the weather. I don't feel like putting product in my hair right now.
That's showbiz.
That is.
You know, got
You
my
haven't
thing
washed your
on.
hair all week.
I mean, what is it? It's Thursday. I probably washed it Monday. I
Girls
typically
don't
go
wash
like
their
every
hair
other.
for like 6 weeks.
That's
Yeah.
crazy to me.
They're like fucking cats.
I go every other. I have a curl enhancing shampoo and conditioner,
Got
separate
my alert,
products.
Merrimack Minute. We're live.
We are live, so welcome,
I got those
gentlemen.
notifications on.
Oh yeah, you sure do.
I don't even have it on.
I get the YouTube email. I get all that good stuff. So, gentlemen, welcome to the Merrimack Minute. With bring it. I can't. I
do like that. It does sound good. It's professional.
I don't have the same emphasis today because anytime I really get the voice going and rattling, my throat fucking just wants to explode. This beautiful cold I've got going. So, welcome everybody. I know this is going to be. We talked about it last week. This is going to be the weekly installment where we talk all things MMSSL. Joined with me are the Prez, or is the Prez. R is not the proper verbiage. Is the Prez, Jim O'Connor, and Coach of the Year, Colby Boulay. Gentlemen, what's happening?
What's going on, J-Ro? I'm feeling a lot better. I hope you can feel better, recovering from your sickness there. But last night was not a great night for me to sit outside and watch tryouts, but it was a good turnout. 34 guys last night. So
yeah, I'm sure it wasn't the 2 Marg towers that makes you feel shitty today.
Nah, definitely
it had
not.
to be the rain yesterday.
Definitely not. It was the altitude in that little scorer's booth in the Legion. Yeah.
Tell you what, for as much as I love the Legion, that field just looked like my midsection, just absolutely atrocious.
Yeah, I put the tarp down around home plate before, and I was looking at it. I was like, this isn't really going to do anything. Like, it's already a shit box in there, but we'll fix that thing up before the league starts.
Nice. I mean, I know I've been on record many years here saying that I absolutely love the Legion. I think the setup there is great. I think it would be, once it gets cleaned up, and if ever really enhance that field, just the natural setup of that field behind the Legion really lends itself to like a good stadium, if you will.
Definitely. I totally agree.
It sucks how loud it is. Like, you can't even talk to your outfield or anything, like with the cars going by. It's brutal.
It does make the tryout process hard too.
It's so hard. Yeah.
We're relying on guys announcing the players, and it's like,
I'm like, what? Who are you?
We had a first baseman marked down as a center fielder and guy that can only catch doing whatever. And the guys running the tryouts last night really did a great job once we got to the fielding portion to make sure we knew who everybody was.
Yeah, that was kind of a free-for-all, but overall, Vanty and Cody did a great job. They did a great job. Billy Lafferty helped us out last night too. So thanks to those guys. Yeah, you got a little visitor over there.
Yeah, Jack's here. I think it was great at the beginning. It wasn't really a problem, especially once we got like going in order. But like, I mean, going out to the field, surprisingly enough, Palavicius was saying that we should just we should print numbers. Like, people should have to like throw it on their back or like on their shorts or something.
Yeah, we've talked about that before, like pennies. Like, I feel like it's already weird enough. I feel like it's already weird enough that we're making these guys try out. Like,
I know, I really wanted to make them run sprints.
Like buying pennies that we're going to use literally once a year. It just doesn't seem.
Pennies wouldn't really work either, would it? Like,
if they had numbers on them, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I mean that's how every tryout.
Unnecessary cost.
Oh, absolutely unnecessary.
But I like your thought process there, Boulay.
We just color code the infield and the outfielders.
Or maybe one team just keeps them as their jerseys for the season, the pennies.
Yeah.
The
toilet bowl losers.
That's it. So like Tomahawk would be the pennies this year.
They would have to wear the pennies. Wow. That would be great.
See, now there you go. There's the brainstorming there. That's the type of shit I want to hear.
You get benefits in the draft of like coming in last the year before, but the one, thing that bites you in the ass is you have to wear pennies throughout the year.
Yeah. I was saying last year that we should, because I don't know if you remember when I was making the schedule last year, I tried to use this like schedule generator
Mhm.
and it kept spitting me out. And everyone had the same amount of games at every single field and game slots. It was perfect, except one team played all 27 at the Legion. And so I had to do it all like manually. And I was thinking like next year, whoever comes in last should just have to play all their games at the Legion.
That
So
would
it
just
makes
make
it
it
easier for me. Yeah. But
Can you imagine playing 27 games there? Like,
I mean, you might as well become a member at that point.
Yeah, no shit.
it'll be cheaper than buying 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. No, that was a great night last night. It was nice that the weather held off as well. It was a little cool, but you know, tis what the season brings early April. But it was a great show out. Everybody was in pretty good spirits. We had some nice tailgaters even.
Yeah.
I mean,
Great turnout last night for sure.
Yeah.
And we were, you know, nothing's ever easy when it comes to the tryouts and the draft. So the days leading up, the forecast looked terrible. So we're scrambling, trying to find, you know, actually, now that I think about it, I didn't even tell the guy that we weren't going last night. So
hopefully he's not expecting us still.
oops. But
If
yeah,
you're listening,
like,
we're sorry.
yeah, we're sorry about that. But like logistically, like that would have been such a pain in the ass to have to go to Manchester at 8:30 instead of
And if we had that many people inside there,
right.
Oh,
holy shit.
And being in a cage, like it's good that it's an option, but like seeing guys field ground balls on a real field and catch fly balls and stuff, like you can't do that in a cage.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, Vanty was just trying to cut balls by guys, but it was
No,
we
he
should
did
have
a
had
great
Hilly.
job. He did a great job hitting ground balls, and Termel did a great job hitting fly balls. So we've had some poor performances.
Tremel said that he
past
hit
for that.
928 last night.
928.
Yeah, he said his average was 928 last night. I don't know.
Wow.
Of course
Seems high.
he was keeping it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, so we had 34. I mean, I think that was a good group, especially when we didn't know. That's just, you know, a couple of names, obviously. Wasn't like last year where you had a lot of guys coming in that were new to the league, but not new to a lot of us. And I think once we started putting face to names, you start seeing some guys be like, oh, that's who that is. That's who that is. But I tell you what, it's another group of players coming in that's really going to make this league very strong.
Absolutely. Like last night is why we have the tryouts. Like there's probably 4 or 5 guys on that list that we weren't even considering for mock drafts. Like we just didn't know, and nobody knew who they were. And there's always a few
going
hidden
around
gems.
or two later easily
Yeah.
than what they really would be.
Some definite hidden gems on that list. So
can we keep them hidden and not talk about them here?
I don't know. That's where it's kind of dicey. Like,
I mean, I'm just more saying for Mitch and V's sake. Like, I just don't want those two guys to know if they end up watching this.
I'm sure there will be plenty of mock drafts between now and Sunday. So
If anybody knows V, he won't watch this until Monday. So
yeah, true. And V knows more new players than he does returning players. So
Yeah,
he might be good
exactly.
from the tryout.
Jesus. Yeah, I mean, the mock drafts have been going off nightly, wildly. Like, I remember last year, I think we hit the amount of mock drafts for this year in the first week that you started doing it with the total we did last year.
Yeah, it's been a furious week of mock drafting for sure. Usually I start a lot earlier because we know what the keepers are going to be for the most part. And with the whole one draft thing, it makes the mock drafts both more difficult and more important, actually, because it's more about getting intel from these other guys. Who's lying, who's telling the truth about who they want, who they would take. It's
Jiro's great about giving intel.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jiro,
I'll take that guy.
yeah.
I barely knew what I was doing with my picks until today.
Jiro just stays silent on mock drafts and just waits for us to suggest a guy and then goes, yeah, sure, I'll take it.
Yeah, mute.
It's very much like my draft strategy while I'm in the room too. I'm a fucking mute.
Yeah, he is.
It's the way to go.
Palavicius promised me he'll be on his best behavior at the draft this year.
He says he doesn't drink Sundays.
What do you guys think of the odds on that?
Awful.
Like,
bad.
All we have to do is give the kid one beer and he's gone.
Yeah, that ham sandwich will open right up, dude. The kid can't stop talking.
Every year there's one person that gets a little too wild at the draft.
It's always the new person, though.
He could be going back to back because he was that guy last year.
Or it could be Cooch.
See, Cooch is too business-like, I think.
I don't know. He's planning on Ubering with me.
Ooh, okay, I like that.
Oh, look
Yeah,
at
he's
this
ready to
intel
start
we're
up.
getting.
I like
Breaking
that.
news.
Yeah.
Like I was telling Kyle though, like this is one draft this year, so it's gonna be 16, maybe 17 rounds. So once you get to that 12, 13 range, especially if you have snake picks at the end,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
hard to not just start guzzling
He's
beers.
gonna be crushing drinks.
Yeah.
It's this is going to be an interesting draft for this year because of that. Once you get
Breaking news.
because once you start getting to that point of you hit that 12, I think this is where you're going to see separation of teams. We've said it. My dog's back. Sorry. It's easy because the top 4 is quick, right? You know how to get the top end talent, but it's really that 5 to 10 is big, and then really, Jesus Christ Almighty, my green screen's attacking me. And then that 12 to 15 is probably where it's really going to separate the teams that are going to win and lose.
I would say more rounds like 9 to 12.
That's maybe where I was going, but I was getting attacked by my green screen.
Are like the most important because that's where you're going to hit on some guys because 9 to 12 is, you think playoffs, we're starting 10 guys. So you want to build a little bit of depth in that there, but there's always a guy that gets taken in that range that ends up being like a stud.
Yeah, it's definitely
starter.
8, 9, and 10. That's gonna be huge,
Yeah.
especially like if one of these new players, maybe didn't have the best tryout or looked a little awkward and whatever, and then all of a sudden he's actually a stud baseball player and figures out his
swinging
swing,
25% at tryouts. You mean there wasn't anybody last night?
There was one tank job last night, but
pretty easy to find out too.
Yeah, that
might have been a couple. There might have been a couple.
I don't think Woj was tanking. I think he just had a tough night at the day.
Yeah, maybe.
And everybody knows Woj.
I mean, he looked like a stud in the field.
He did.
But yeah, I mean, one of them was swinging at what, 10%?
Yep, and he signed up as an outfielder.
Yeah,
all we've heard.
Everyone's been telling him he's a shortstop.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. And as you guys have told me in the past, and I think
we're talking about Torrigan, right?
No, that guy's the man.
Electric.
When Andy Lee showed up, or Andy Lee had a buddy of his sign up for the draft, everyone's saying, "Oh, who?" Because it looked like a weird tryout, and then you guys asked, "Hey, who are you friends with?" And he said, "Oh, Andy Lee told me," and you guys are right.
No, it was Andy's tryout, and
it was.
He was hitting balls maybe 4%, like just hitting ground balls for the infield every time. And I was like, "Who do you know? Like, how'd you get into this league?" And he's like, "Oh, Chris Rusin, let me know." And I was like, "Okay,
yeah,
nice.
Now I know."
Not hard to figure that one out.
No.
So
maybe they'll be teammates this year. Who knows?
Oh, what? Ooh. What's that?
Maybe they'll be
more
teammates.
Breaking news.
Who knows? We'll see.
Hey, now.
So the thing I'm liking right now about you, Jim, lately, Prez, you've had a lot of hot takes. I've enjoyed them thoroughly.
I love it. I'm glad you're enjoying them. It's definitely hot take season for sure.
It was you, and you are fucking scorching with your takes. It's been beautiful to hear because, as you know, I'm the king of shitty takes.
Yep.
Love a hot take. Love to hear people give them out. What would you like to share here right now? Maybe on one of your hot takes.
So, is this a hot take I've already given you, or are you asking me to come up with a new hot take?
You can come up with a new hot take. You can come up with anything you want.
Wow. Put me on the spot here for a hot take. I'm gonna go since my Tiger Woods hot take looks pretty bad right now because he played well today.
But I still like that hot take. That was a great hot take. Go for it. What's that one?
I just don't like Tiger Woods.
Fair enough.
I don't know if it's just the contrarian in me, but I find myself rooting for not Tiger Woods ever. I don't really want him to win.
But it's good TV. It's a good storyline regardless, because there's a lot of people in your boat. And I think it makes for a good soap opera.
Someone today was like, why the hell is everybody rooting for Tiger Woods to come back? He's a bad person. And I was like,
it's not even about that for me. Like, just everyone just loves him so much. It just makes me dislike him. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a hater. I don't know.
But it's crazy because he's not doing himself any favors, and yet everyone just has his back.
And he was balling today. He looked like he was in pain, but he was killing it today.
Good. Yeah.
Would love that. Would love to see him. I think we have the golf we have now. Like I said earlier, the golf we have now because of Tiger Woods. Hey, whatever.
Yeah.
He had a Swedish wife and he decided to fuck a Perkins waitress. Like, whatever. Like, hey, good for him too. Like, whatever. I mean, it happens. Yeah.
It happens. My hot
Other day.
take, my softball hot take from last night.
Let's go.
Kevin Harris goes in the first 3 rounds of the draft.
Wow.
He goes in the first.
All
He
right.
goes in the first 7 picks.
Wow.
In my opinion, I thought he had the best tryout out of everybody yesterday. I don't know about you guys, but I knew he was good
looked
from fall
but
ball.
especially after feeding off a fall ball. That was a big one.
Yeah. So I know
that
Dearborn was hoping
wasn't-
to get him kind of late. I don't think that's going to happen.
No chance. It's
Hot take alert. I love
it's
these.
going to be I think this is a guy that people know, first off. So this is not somebody you're going to be worried about when it comes time to chemistry, if you will. You know, he's a good kid. You know, he can play ball, but I think what he did last night absolutely rose his stock for sure in the draft.
Yeah, he was definitely one of the better guys I saw last night for sure.
It's going to be interesting to see where it goes because of what the draft does look like as well.
Right.
Like with the picks and keepers.
And I was talking about this last night, the fact that it's one draft. There's going to be some recency bias to some of these picks because we just saw all these guys hit last night, right? And it's going to come down to either them or returning players, and it's like, oh, you know, I might not have seen that guy hit more than twice last year. This guy killed it at the tryout last night. You know, there's going to be some recency. That's what makes this draft much more difficult, I feel like, than years past.
But and that bias is something that's hard to strip. There's been many studies on this, but that recency bias is a tough one to pull out. And when you're doing a draft, when you're scouting players, it's something you have to try to remove. And it can be very tough, and it can be very detrimental to building your team if you do not limit it. Cuck of the year, thoughts? You're the reigning coach of the year. How did you build your team to win the regular season?
I don't know how TA doesn't get coach of the year, by the way.
I know I don't get it either because
someone called me coach of the year the other day, and I tried to throw it back at him. I think it was Mitch or something.
Yeah, I guess coach of the year is a regular season award, so I guess that does make sense for you.
Yeah, TA gets enough credit for winning the ship.
He's the GM of the year.
Yeah,
absolutely. He is.
Yeah.
I was looking at Benny commented on the thing and says, and with the 21st pick, VFW picks cigarette guy.
This guy was the most talked about player at the trials last night.
Absolutely amazing.
And he hit well.
Who was he?
I think he's from Lowell. He's Cooch knew him.
Shocking.
CJ Torrigan.
Just let me look at my list.
Ripping the butt, picking up the balls was just electric.
Yeah, my first note was Sig guy.
But he had nice swings and everything too, so whatever.
I would have ranked him a little higher if he hit and fielded with the cigarette in his mouth still.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's his name?
It's like Vince Vaughn in the old school. He gets the rings doing a butt.
He's on the rings, yeah.
Amazing.
So Boulay, I know now Jim gave us a nice take there, which I think this is good. I'm interested to see how that one plays out.
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel?
For a hot take?
Something that caught your eye last night. Something that you feel going into this
something
year
that caught my eye last night was that kid Mitch. Not Mitch without a T. Mitch with a
Pierce?
Yes.
Yeah. He had some good swings, pitched. Like he was just moving around. I thought he was pretty solid. Dustin came out right away and said, I think that's the best Mitch in the league now.
Wow, I love that. That's
the hot take.
That's
the
hot take.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that one pans out.
Wow.
But no, he was definitely a one that stood out.
Did you just cuck D's hot take?
No.
Is that what just happened?
I thought it was hilarious.
That was your hot take.
No, I didn't.
But it was Dustin's take first.
I didn't take it as a hot take. You just said that's a hot take. I said, yeah, it was quite a take.
Okay.
Perez, I can watch it.
Jero, you're not off the hook. We need a hot take from you too.
I don't know. Oh, I don't know if I really have like a hot take right now. It's like I want to see Sunday too. We have some solid players that are showing up Sunday that would definitely.
Jesus Christ. You sound like me in the fucking mock draft room.
Yeah, I'll just take whoever.
I'll take whatever take.
Well, you asked me two different questions too. Before we cut off to Benny's comment, you asked me a different question, and then you came back and asked me for
That
a
was
hot
my
take.
question I asked you initially.
About last year, how I came in first or something like that. Like
No, I
how
think he
built
was.
my-
I think he
how
was
I,
asking
how
you
I
for a
built my.
take.
No, he asked me how I built my team.
Yeah,
Check the
leading
tapes.
into it. Whatever.
Check the tapes.
Check the tapes. Run it back.
Yeah, run this back.
Run it back. But you're right. Like there is at least two like guys that are going to impact the draft if they show up or not on Sunday.
Absolutely. I think actually what one of my hot takes would be is that someone significant that's been going in the mocks is going to drop further down than we ever expected to because of the people that
A returning guy.
Yeah, like a returning guy that we've been putting up higher is definitely going to fall into that third, maybe even fourth round that we weren't expecting.
I agree.
See, and my hot take is going to be on the kind of the opposite, if you will. I think that there are going to be some new players that should not fall to the later rounds because of how people value returning players within this league. So I think there's going to be some players, and I'm not talking about the guys that we've been using in the mocks at the top, the top couple rounds. I'm talking about guys in the middle where you're starting to go against a guy that you don't really know. You've seen him. He's going to be around versus guys that have been in the league and you know what they are, and it's a safe pick. I think you're going to see some guys drop a couple rounds purely based on that reason. And I look at it last year. Look at the trades last year. You look at, one worked out, right? Actually, two. Tomahawk wanted all new players, and how did that work out for them? It didn't. And then you had TA got rid of his new players. He traded for a lot of returning players, and he won the championship. But also, I think I know I picked up a couple of new player picks and got rid of some of my returning ones. So I think you have to have a good mix. But I do think there's going to be some new players dropping that shouldn't.
I think it's tough too because you like walk that line of, if you take a new guy and he's not being entertained enough and he has any other sort of action that he can go play in another league and know that he's playing all the time and whatever, chances are he's going to just go back and do that and like not, join in on this league, even though it's more competitive and everything else, so like TA trading away new guys, obviously can make sense to grab somebody like Coot, who's a vet, but also, he shows up every year in every game and everything else. You know what I mean? It's just no questions asked. It's nice having that confidence in what's going on.
I agree with you, J-Ro, too, because I think what you're going to see is there are going to be teams that take new guys early, but then once they get later in the draft, they're going to be like, all right, well, I already have a bunch of new guys. Like, so there's going to get to that point later in the draft where there's teams that didn't want to draft new guys to begin with, and then teams that already have, they feel like enough new guys where that's where it's going to push some of these new players down, like farther down into the draft. So there probably will be some steals in like the 14th, 15th round.
And that's where I think going back to where we started with this, I think that's where you're going to be able to win build a championship team is, yes, like you were saying, while my green screen was falling on me, was that 9 to 12 is huge. I think that's really where you establish a solid roster. But I think when you get past that 12, you don't just take a buddy. You got to take a sponsor. You got to take, somebody that's a mainstay on a team is different. But I think that's where you might be able to find some spots. I know I've talked to some people about getting out of some of the earlier rounds and trying to grab a couple extra picks in either the 6th or 7th round. Just because I think there's going to be some value in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think even when you think about it too, right? Like that 9-10, we've said it many times last year. A lot of the times those are the guys that are going to win you games. And like if the 9-10 in your order is so important. And so if we're thinking rounds 9 through 12, that's where you're getting some of those guys. That's important. And also depth. And then I feel like 13 to the end is like chemistry guys. Because team chemistry is huge.
Yes.
And that's where you're looking for, like, you might be willing to take someone that is, on paper worse, but he's like a great team guy. Like just gets the boys going. So
it's interesting. I love this. Like now that we're close to the drafting, and this is just fun. But speaking of drafting, you want to take a look at the board? And
yeah, we might as well. We might as well take a look. This is what the draft board is going to look like. We can go team by team, but these are expected keepers. I want to make sure that's clear. These are not set in stone whatsoever. So everybody will be submitting their keepers immediately following the Sunday tryout. So we'll know what the keepers are about an hour before the draft starts. But some of these have changed over the last few days. Some of these teams are pretty much locked in, like Mitch's team, VFW, Monahan. I'm pretty sure those are guarantees for what they're going to keep. But there's a lot of, and Palavicius is kind of locked in as well. There's a lot of other things that could change, though. But I have an idea that this is about 95% what it's going to be. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, no, I think that's accurate.
I think you're spot on there. I think that it's going to come down to two people. I think it's going to come down to V. I think it's going to come down to me.
Yep.
And I think those outside of that, I think 8 of these teams are locks. I think V and I are the 2 that are wild cards that really could do a lot of different things here.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because so for the people that haven't seen how we draft before, you'll notice that we have the pick numbers in here. So obviously everybody gets to catch up by round 5. Round 5 is when it really becomes, a straightforward draft. If you're looking at Cooch, Palavicius, and Colby as coaches, they were slotted in those rounds. So that's why they're in the second and not the first. And then, but even if J-Ro, you don't keep anybody, right? If you were to do that, now Dearborn's second and third round picks, which are right now 5 and 6, become what, like 10 and 11? Or no?
Let's see. I would then have 4, 5.
You would have 4 and 5,
and then probably
7 or 8.
7, 8, right?
7, 8. Yeah, but it just keeps pushing everything, and then that has an effect. Now VFW, instead of picking 21, they're picking 23.
Right.
Or no, 24. 24. Yeah. So
it's this has been the exciting part, where it's just been a complete shit show. And part of it with the mocks has been, I know we've done mocks of everything from me having nobody to me having everybody and everything in between. And V, I think we've always had one keeper for V, I believe, correct?
I think we did one where he kept nobody.
So I think the 2 of us could probably throw a wrench in everything and really change the look of what this draft could be. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think this is, like you said, I think you're probably 95% there, unless if something comes out of the left field and really knocks our socks off on what somebody's thinking. We're probably ready to go to the draft room with this, I would imagine.
I think so too. So for you guys, if you could pick any team other than your own, like which team do you think would you want their position in this draft?
Dearborn.
Yeah, I mean that's the easy one. I mean, listen, we all know who the 1-1 is in this draft. Pretty easy. So getting low, being able to build around, that's the way to go. With that being said, and I'm gonna go out there and be, just because he's been bitching about it all the time, I love Mitch's spot.
Mitch, I knew you were going to say that.
I love, and the reason being, you have one of the top pitchers in the league. You got Zach Graham, and you got TB. So and you have Mitch. I mean, obviously, that if that was my team, you just switch coaches out. But my least favorite of all of these positions, though, for during the draft, is KP. I think
I was going to say him or me. Him or me.
You 2 are in bad spots.
Yeah. We're stuck in that middle of the snake. And I mean, Kyle does have that 3rd overall pick, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. The 8, 9, 12, 13 picks there are going to be so important. Like that, those are going to determine. I know we said 9 to 12 is the most important round, but for where we pick in the draft, if we don't nail those picks,
have to knock those out.
If we don't nail those picks, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Probably this just has it in a decent way because of the fact that he's a pitcher. Like he knows he's starting off with that. That's nice. So now he can kind of go off best value from the beginning, but definitely have to.
I'm going to go with J-Ro here. Actually, I think you're in a great spot. Because your top 4 is similar, like you just detailed for Mitch. I mean, VFW is another easy answer. That's a pretty gross 4 to start with. But I like what your spot, J-Ro, because again, you're pretty balanced. You got 2 guys that can play infield, outfield, and you have a pitcher. And then 22 and 27, you're going to get 2 good players there, really good players. So your first 6 should be very solid.
And that's why, I mean, this is kind of what I'm looking at now is, with Gio, I have my pitcher locked up. But then here's the other thing. I have 3 guys there that can play every position.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, so I'm happy with that. And that's kind of where, as we continue to do these mocks, that's why I started leaning further and further towards these 3 keepers. I mean, I would say at this point, V's the wild card, because I think I'm about 99.9%. This is what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to do anything different though. I think we might be overthinking that. I think he'll end up just sticking with this.
He's going to go to the Sunday tryout and be like, yeah, Andy said he's actually going to be quitting mid-season, just so he can say that he's going to get him in the 8th round.
Right. But there's a lot of trades that are being thrown around. So a lot of this could change.
I'm curious to hear. Excuse me. I'm curious to hear what some of these trades are. I know we can't speak about it. Oh, it looks like we have another joinee here. Wow, look at this. Jesus Christ, you look like you just got back from a Kid Rock concert.
It was an awesome concert.
Wow,
right?
Look at this outfit right now.
What are you going through? Is your life all right?
I'm not a keeper again. I'm sad. This is Bella Rose brings it to Facebook. I'm just gonna sit in my couch
Bring
for a
it to the
while.
stream.
You're like a homeless person.
It is a tough time of year telling guys that they're not going to be kept, because that sucks, right? But
Oh, I expect it.
right, but it sucks, especially when it's your buddies and things like that. But that's showbiz, as they say.
Or that you
I've
pay
heard
rent
that.
to. Gogo, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
I guess the co-host of the show's leaving.
Yep, so yeah.
Sorry to interrupt your evening here.
He's
Colby.
gone.
Jesus Christ.
My green screen's falling on me.
You don't have a green screen. No, this is, I mean, I'm excited for this. And then, you know, Sunday we'll have the draft. And then after that, what are we going to be looking at? So Sunday, how quickly will people hear about their teams?
Yeah. So the draft, we're hoping, starts around 12:30. Realistically, it'll probably take 3 hours.
That's it.
I would say. That might be ambitious of me, but
Are you keeping KP from any drinks?
that he allegedly doesn't drink on Sundays.
He also
The
said he
Lord's
doesn't
Day.
drink during the week, and then he was cocked on a Thursday. So
So we're gonna have to keep him in check somehow. I do think that we might need a little.
Come on.
I do think we need like a little 9th round break. It'll be a grind if we try to do the whole thing, but we'll see if we get started on time. But anyway, then there's like an hour of trade shit that goes down immediately after the draft. That's a fun hour.
That's like the best part.
That is a fun hour where everyone's just wheeling and dealing. Guys are trading people they don't even know if they actually have yet. Like, it's awesome.
It's great for the people there that can't make any trades because we just eat the rest of the food that's left.
Right.
So,
So you guys will hear. So I will have. This is depending on my state on Sunday. I might be able to put the rosters up on the website by Sunday night. That is not a promise for me whatsoever.
Christ. Don't say that.
We will see how Sunday goes, but that is not a promise. But
And what site are you talking about?
MerrimackDraftLeague.com. That is the homepage for our league. That's where all the scores and stats and updates and bylaws, that's where everything's going to get posted, rosters. That'll be, other than Facebook, that'll be our main point of communication to people in the league. So,
And of course, the Merrimack Minute.
And the Merrimack Minute. And so we're going to probably actually keep track of our predictions this year, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I know last year we just kept making predictions and just not keeping track of.
You know what?
totals,
Because then
so.
I started adding wrong. I never went back in and yeah.
So we'll keep track of that.
Make a sexy Excel spreadsheet this year.
Yeah, I'll just Excel it up. That's what I've been doing a lot of Excel lately.
You're excelling.
Work from home is great. For you.
Ayo. Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah,
Perfect.
everyone will find out by Sunday night or Monday what team they're on. And then we got like 3 weeks
exciting.
until the season actually starts, which is a long time. So we'll send out like a practice schedule once the fields are released and we'll coordinate all that. So
Well, that's good. And then, all right. So by probably Monday, everybody, guys will start hearing, start trickling out. You start hearing during the draft if you know people, but you'll probably hear by Monday. And then lastly, moving forward, This is your baby, boys.
Yep.
This is something that, we had talked about earlier about making sure we could pull this out. And then Jim, Dustin, and I kind of really got into discussing it. So Jim and Colby are going to be running this Merrimack Minute from here on out this whole season, which is going to be awesome to have two other voices talking Merrimack. And you guys aren't going to just be nicey nice. I hear you guys got some stirring the pot going.
Oh, I'm trying to stir the pot all year.
Yeah.
My favorite part of last year was getting to the field and guys being pissed about my picks. So expect a lot more of that. Expect a lot of bold
takes.
takes.
Is gonna be the best part, especially you take the hot takes, someone's not going to be there or something. Boom. What are we going to do about keeping track of it? Are you just going to do it we're going to add it up each week?
Yeah, I'll keep it in Excel and I'll post it up. We'll share our screen while we're doing it, and I would like for us also to get a guest picks every week. Get somebody different every week to give us their picks as well. So we might even have a guest lined up for next Thursday already.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys are fast.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Yeah.
Jim, can we expect any memos to be released from the office of the president of the Merrimack Softball League?
What kind of memos?
I don't know, like maybe if you hit a grand slam or something, like a big release.
Oh, maybe.
Not to be a bragger, but
potentially. Well, I am going to try to use the website as much as I can this year. But I don't know about any memos coming from the Bay, but we'll see.
That seems like a lot.
Well, just like a majestic home run.
Oh,
through a strong wind.
Through a strong wind. Yeah.
Oh,
I see where you're going with that now. That went over
Planked
my head
off
at
the
first.
scoreboard.
But no, I'm excited for us. I think this is going to be great. It'll be great to get, Boulay, you involved here every week. Jim, you guys get going. I'll still be jumping around. You guys are going to do it every Thursday night, kind of same time-ish, either 7 or 8.
Yeah.
You guys 7 or 8?
We're thinking 7, and
Perfect.
sometimes it might take 20 minutes, sometimes it might take 45. We're not gonna lock ourselves into any time. Definitely done by 8 though. So
yeah. No, and that's great. And this gives, my marriage a chance to survive for going 4 nights straight of, league, podcasting, and then tournaments.
Maybe Thursdays you just don't think about softball. Maybe you shut it down.
You get a day off.
No, I still like hanging out with guys and listening and talking shit.
Well, you guys know you're welcome to join anytime.
No, but it'll be fun to tune in and watch you guys and chirp you guys like we all get chirped all the time. So
yeah, maybe you'll become a big commenter.
I can't wait until like something's going on that you don't like and you just Vince McMahon it, just come out like out of nowhere, like get me on.
Oh my God, that's J-Rose music. What was your wrestling name?
Death Row.
That's Death Row. Oh my God.
You see a power surge on the screen.
I'm just like, what the hell just happened? Why did we just freeze out?
Oh, that's great.
Fuck. So no, it's gonna be good. So this is exciting. So keep an eye on this. We're gonna hit the like, subscribe, notification button here on YouTube. If we can get to 1,000 subscribers, we can go live from YouTube. We can go live at the field. You can do all that type of shit. We can also rename our URL to make it Bring It Pod as well. So if you guys want to help that out, but every Thursday night, it's going to be the Prez and Cuck of the Year show.
Absolutely. Make sure to tune in. Hit us with some questions. If it makes us stir the pot, it's more than welcome. So I hope to see HUD in these comments. I hope to see some other people in there stirring the pot as well.
I don't think YouTube hasn't banned him yet, so he should be. He should be
good.
hot.
He should be good. He doesn't even have to create a second profile for this.
Speaking of HUD, you see him posting gym selfies in the bathroom now.
I did see some bathroom gym selfies from him.
He's
today.
a different person. Something about that broken leg fucked with his emotions.
Well, if you don't post it on if you don't post a selfie on Facebook, you're not doing anything.
Right.
So I appreciate the homework.
Pissed off that Spanky was getting all the credit for being keto, and he was like, "All right, my turn."
Everybody knows you didn't actually go to the gym unless you send a picture from there, or you never actually hit BP unless you post it. So
I can't believe though, like he's got that broken foot, and it looks like he's lost weight.
It's a good angle.
I would look like myself. He would look like me if I was him. If that makes sense.
He's tricky with special effects on the computer, so you never know. You never
Yeah,
know.
check
the
to
film
see if the
going and
lines
shit.
are if they're like kind of weird rounds. He's just playing
Bowed
with.
out a little.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
He's one I'm very interested to see where he goes in the draft.
He's gonna be.
He could be a game changer. He could be a steal, or he could be his injury could linger and he could hurt somebody.
Like I could see right here in that 4th round somebody taking him and just taking a flyer if they like, or early in the 5th. Like I could see, I don't know I don't think Boulay would, but like I could see VFW, me, NHI taking a flyer on him here just because you like what you have in your 4.
I could see him realistically going anywhere from like 7 to 24.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
I could also see him slipping to the 6th round.
I don't think I'd let him go
That's
that
a tough
far.
one.
I don't think he gets past Colby there at the end.
Yeah.
or
he's definitely-
or Monahan. Oh, imagine if VFW got HUD.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, they have a good 4 to start, and they could definitely sit on that injury.
Just a murderer's row of just like home run
Solos
guys. Yeah,
with Josh
Yeah,
Moore right leading the way.
I'm gonna get knocked out in the 1st round.
he'll
again.
lead a game off with a solo.
Can't get shut out.
Just to set the tone.
Got to do it.
All right. Well, with that, everybody enjoy your Thursday night. I don't know what the score of the Denver Michigan game is because my feed went out. Is it 2-2 in overtime still?
Oh, they tied it up. Michigan did.
Yeah, it went to overtime.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. So go enjoy the Masters. Enjoy baseball's back, and we'll see you guys. Are we gonna do a Sunday one of these after the draft?
I don't know.
Wow.
That seems like a lot. That's
asking
a lot.
After?
And
Yeah. Just
Sunday's
slap
the
me.
draft. It's also Sox Yankees on
Yeah.
Sunday Night Baseball
Masters
and the
Sunday.
Masters. It's gonna be a hell of a day.
It's a lot.
Imagine
Could at
trying to
least
not
maybe
drink.
like just put the pictures up in our spots.
Yeah.
So, all right. Have a good night, everybody.
See you guys.
We'll see you guys.
Later, guys.